Hello, my name is Julia. I'm an empath, expert, life coach, and today I'd like to reflect with you on the theme of opening up our heart after a lifetime of overfunctioning, neglect, abuse, toxic dynamics. I have observed many processes, including my own, of healing and of learning to receive love because I've always been very interested in understanding the path to freedom, to happiness. And so today I'd like to share with you a few observations and a few tips on how to go about this. A few weeks ago, I visited someone who finally got to her last leg and was absolutely fed up with the dynamic and with the lack of hearing her out. She was so accustomed to being told to be understanding and so on that she couldn't even hear me validate her. I had to repeat myself a few times and tell her, actually, I'm on your side. You're right. She was just accustomed to not hearing any of that, that as if her brain couldn't believe the words she was hearing. And this is absolutely common because in order for us to keep overfunctioning, in some ways, we have internalized the needs of the dynamic and taken responsibility for them. She basically has been overperforming for decades, many decades, willingly hoping for the best, and the best never came. And this is extremely common when we haven't been accustomed to receiving love as a normal thing of life. We are clumsy about it. We can look self-sabotaging or entitled or rude, awkward. We are not natural in it. And these are all signs of guilt in disguise. The message we've interiorized that we're not allowed to be happy, just simply be happy, unless we've deserved it. So we'd rather conform to our standards of overperformance in order to feel like we deserve to be happy than face eventual criticism, external or internal, and actually validating our own inner self. And the signs of these can be very sneaky, very atmospheric, environmental, and the process is strange. It can go in leaps and jumps, and then gradual, and then all of a sudden we have a breakthrough. And all of these moments, which are absolutely fundamental, look terrifying, feel terrifying, because it is not easy all of a sudden to learn to open that umbrella we've kept closed for so long and to allow the world to give us love. It can even be chances, opportunities, giving ourselves the permission to try and develop our talents or a new project. And this shift of our mindset towards the possibility of being loved can be very hard, because at some point, usually there is a big ugly cry, or more than one. It is the shattering of the lie we have somehow maintained that that kind of love is not possible. It's not available for us. We haven't deserved it yet. And so we would rather keep trying to control everything, to perform flawlessly all the time, to feel like a good person, as in overperforming, rather than actually being able to tell ourselves that we deserve love and that we are allowed to accept it and Probably it's nothing to do with performing all the time. It's not about being a doormat. It's not about being the fixer all the time. It's not transactional. It doesn't have to be transactional. And so that moment can be extremely terrifying, can trigger the pent up lifetime emotions we have never allowed ourselves to even acknowledge. And that moment can really scare us, especially since many times we have associated our self esteem to being in control. So, this lack of emotional control can be extremely triggering and scary. The ugly cry, no one likes it. I don't like it. I don't know anyone who does. Sometimes it's necessary though. It works when it comes spontaneously, of course. My suggestion is a technique that involves writing and which I will explain better in next videos. But it is about addressing that part of us that was never heard. If you want to call it the inner child's part, a heart, being, and hearing first all of her needs, all of her fears, the anger, the sadness, all of the things we've never shared with anyone, that we never enforced, that we've never turned into boundaries and expectations and standards. Giving that part of us love, writing it down, all of the things we want to tell ourselves. It starts with an apology, of course, because we need to recognize we were the ones betraying ourselves. And by doing so, we take responsibility for being in charge of our own happiness. And that gives us safety to be able to express our needs, our desires, our emotions, our fears, and our talents too. It is the pure, loving, innocent place we finally allow ourselves to go to that the cause is the cause of the big emotion of the ugly cry, because it is like giving a glass of water to someone in the desert. It is the first act of self-love, hearing ourselves, validating our own right to treat ourselves like human beings. And it is the beginning of a new life where we take responsibility. We are in charge of our happiness. It takes work. Sometimes it's easier to neglect ourselves. It takes less responsibility, and we can always blame someone else. But taking responsibility for practicing the new beautiful standard of self-love every day is work. It's beautiful work. It's worth it, but it's work. It takes commitment. And once we spend that commitment on ourselves, then we do recognize neglect from others. We recognize when expectations are not fair, when we develop new standards, to put it shortly. We develop a new baseline, a new framework in which our reality exists. So a lot of things will not fit there anymore. A lot of unbalanced dynamics will be triggered. And sometimes it's not easy to face all of this conflict. Maybe that's why many people never do it, and it's a pity. I still wish that first person I was mentioning to break free, to be happy, because she deserves it, and it's absolutely possible. And no one will die if she stops overperforming all the time. It could actually have good consequences for people to learn to be more self-sufficient because they can, and for her to teach other people self-respect, to model it for her descendants as well. Very important. So I wish you fantastic practice of these responsible, honest, tender, considerate, attentive self-love every day in our lives, and to consider it a normal thing. If you enjoyed this video, you might want to watch this other one about how I made friends as an expat living abroad. And if you'd like individual sessions with an intuitive approach to coaching, please book a spot through my website. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next Saturday. Ciao!